Good afternoon and welcome to America's Home Cooking. I am going to be making cantaloupe butter. This is like apple butter, except we're going to use different seasonings and all, and we're using a cantaloupe instead. Now you can use apple butter on cakes in between the layers, and I think cantaloupe would be nice as well. And you can put it on pancakes and do everything that you do with applesauce, except you'd be doing it with a cantaloupe butter instead. So let me get my knife and start, and my instructions are this long. That's it's a teeny little piece of paper. Now, if you're buying cantaloupes from the store, I'm going to tell you right now, they are not as sweet as the ones that you grow. You'll have to wait until they ripen up, and I will show you because I grew these in my yard. Let me turn you down. Hold on, don't roll. Okay. I don't want it to roll when I'm doing this. I'll get a pot out and I'll slice it and show you. When I cut this, you can see how ripe cantaloupe is when you get it and grow it yourself. See how ripe that is? You don't see a pale green working and then you get it there. Mine is ripe all the way, you see? We already ate one. I had 3 ripe ones, but we already ate one. Well, my refrigerator is fixed, and I threw a lot of food out, and I've still got more. I'm gonna have to clean out the bottom part. I'm taking the seeds out. You have to take that out. See, that's what I'm doing right now. So this, when you grow your cantaloupes, they have good flavor. So I just wanted you to know. So while I'm doing this, it's got to be 6 pounds though. These were each 3 pounds, so I know I'll have what I need. I didn't cut this one right. Scooping it out. Now I'm going to talk about something that you're not going to believe. In 1920s or 30s, Edgar Casey started giving readings, which became known as the ARE, Association for Research Enlightenment. And women were asking him about makeup, and he gave them the very oil that I use is the recipe that he gave, and he explained it into great detail. You know what they have on the internet now? They're talking about this doctor who knows this, that when you're young, you have more elasticity to your skin, and he's talking about all that. But she says for older skin, when you use the foundations that you use, they're set for young skin, and it dries your skin out on your face and enhances your wrinkles more, which Casey had talked about in the 1920s. I've known about it, and I've been using this lotion this oil base. Actually, it's a mixture of oils with lanolin in it on my skin all my life. I'm very familiar with it, and and these women, they say when you use the normal makeup and you don't use the mature makeup that you need, this is why your skin, it enhances your wrinkles. But this makeup has oil based on it, and as you can see, it diminishes the wrinkles tremendously. I'm 72. Hello. We've known it since the 1920s, but now they're making it like a big thing because the doctor says it. Believe you me, the oils that I put on, and I did say it, somebody asked me on live, when I did a live, and I told them exactly what I use on my skin, And I even showed them the bottle. Hello, you're not saying anything new. It's just that because she says it, for her generation, that makes her like, oh, the great wizard of the time. But it's been known for over 100 years. Your skin wrinkles because it doesn't have any oil and stuff on it. You know? And they keep women in the dark about this. This is why, man, I try to stay on top of a lot of stuff. Like the ARE said, 3 almonds a day will keep cancer away. And what have they found out? Seeds have 2 chemicals in them. They're proving Casey right. That seeds have 2 chemicals that fight cancer. I have a girlfriend who she has lived with cancer. She got over it, and now she has it again. You know, and the funny thing is radiation, the very things that they say they kill the cancer with, is the very thing that gives you cancer. And I eat nuts all the time. What they're proving are things that women have been doing for years, but they allowed companies and doctors to take over, and now they're finding out, oh, we need this, oh, we need this. But women have been cooking with this stuff and working with it and haven't had any problems, and now all of a sudden there's problems. I told you, my doctor sees me once every 3 to 5 years. He's lucky. So everything you need for your health and everything, it's a very simple thing to do, but everybody makes it more complicated than what it is. But it won't work unless you get back in the kitchen. Sorry. It's a real fact. You get back into the kitchen and you start doing what you're supposed to do properly. Like they say, oh, but we put these vitamins in, but you leave all the minerals, the other vitamins out, which causes an imbalance, and over time you end up with deficiencies that cause diseases. Okay, now we're going to chunk this up, so we've got to cook it. So, there's nothing new under the sun except that you're learning about it now, but it was already there. Doctors don't believe it or anything else. Just like I'm listening to this new stuff. The pink salt is ice, pink salt, then you add honey, and then you use hot water, all 4 of those together. I made the Manjaro. The only thing it did was curb my appetite. It really curbed my appetite. I wasn't hungry in the morning, which really surprised me. I'd wake up hungry, I'd take that, and I said, that's it, I'm not hungry anymore. So if you curb the appetite, but I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't want to be as skinny as some of these women. And now they're talking about older women, your breasts are sagging, so you need these special bras that lift your breast up. That's protein for muscle, strong muscles. Skin and all, you're losing it with the way you've been eating. So when you get older, as they say, stop them from flopping. That was a big phrase they used to say. And that's why we had bras. But that comes from muscles. The muscles can't hold your breast up. You know you're losing muscle tone. So you can see if you eat right, you wouldn't have these problems, but you do. It's just like people are having trouble with their bladders. They can't hold them after childbirth. Oh, you can't hold it, as you get older. This is protein. You need a high protein diet to get those organs. But the thing is you've been eating poorly all your life. So you think, well, I'll increase the protein. It might not work now. I hear women say, I don't like whole wheat flour. I don't like whole grain flours. That's fine. When you get sick and you take a look at all those pills you have to take, you could sit there and say, well, as even Casey said and talked about this stuff. Oh, shoot, Sandra. Make a mess. Yeah, I know, I just did. I just cleaned it. Oh, well. That's me. I'm gonna cook, I'm gonna make a mess, I'll just have to clean it up again, that's all. So as you can see the difference when you grow your own cantaloupes. Because I won't buy cantaloupe in the store anymore. They're green. And then when I think they're ripe, when I start breaking down, I cut open to it and it's still not ripe. They left them on the vine. Of course, they have to ship it all over the place from one country to another, so they cut them and push dye into them and everything. I'm just bringing the information to you. You don't have to listen to it. Take what you want. My sons, they say, Mommy, why do you have to add vegetable stock and bone stuff? I said, you like not having arthritis? I said, you have to. He says, but isn't it in the food? I said, not completely. Not anymore. And women before, they cooked the bones down. Hey, they weren't wasting anything. They took everything they had to make it work. There was times you could get all sorts of stocks. I mean, if your husband hunted, you had all kinds of stocks in the house. I've taken rabbit bones and cooked down and made rabbit stock. I have cooked down duck. I have cooked with my mother venison stock. Whatever stock we could find, whatever my father brought in. Fish stock. They give you the heads, chop the heads up. You can cook them, you get all that protein and everything else. Get it. Excuse me. Say they love my knife. They're just holding on to my knife. But they're juicy. They are delicious and warm. You don't have to stick them in the refrigerator. I took it out of the garden, brought it in, and we had it. But this one, I had 2 days, so I stuck it in the back of the refrigerator, which was a cold spot, to hold it till I got another cantaloupe. It was 3 pounds, so I could work up to 6 pounds. And now I have another 5 cantaloupes out there to eat. But they're coming up at different times, so that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. And these were small cantaloupes that were grown specifically just for 2 people. I figured that was more than enough. I could always use 2 of them if I had to. If I was going to make cottage cheese and put in them. So I'm going to have to write this recipe and put it in my cookbook, so I'll have it on hand all the time. I take notes when I'm given a recipe. I do a shorthand on it, and I'll have to write it out. When my older son Sean sat there and made the lasagna, he said, "Mommy, you don't have any instructions here." I said, "Yes, I do, because I know what I'm doing." He said, "Well, would you mind telling me?" I said, "Okay." My instructions are like that big, and you just have a list of the food. And you say, "How do I know?" That's like my grandmother. That's how she used to do it. I needed her help to understand her recipes. But that's how recipes were written before, because they assumed that you knew what they were talking about. But anyway, I thought you'd like to know. They're saying you put oils on your skin, it causes the wrinkles not to stand out on your face so much. I'm 72. If you don't believe me, you look at my skin. Is a lot. Good. Doesn't tell me how many pint jars I'm going to get, so I have no idea till I make this. Okay. I know I'm going to have to add some water to this. I have to go back to my recipe. That is going to burn, I think. They're not telling me to put any water in this. They're just telling me to put this on simmer on a low flame, which I'm going to do. I would think they would want some water in it. If it starts to burn, I'm going to add water to it. Alright, I am going to be simmering this, and they said to watch it like a hawk. So they don't want it to burn, but it's got so much water in it. I guess the water will cook out of it, so let me simmer it a bit, and I'll let you know what happens. Okay, if you leave it on simmer, it is cooking and it is producing its own liquid. Oh wait, alright, the cantaloupe is soft. Now they want us to puree it, and I'm talking about a food processor. And you can see all the liquid it gave me while I was doing it. I did not add any fluid. And there was more than enough fluid in this. So we're going to puree this. This is such an easy recipe, cantaloupe butter. I'm just surprised how easy it is. A few ingredients, a little bit of time, I can imagine just how good this is going to be. Smells nice, believe it or not. We haven't done anything to it yet. And like apple butter, you'll have a few pieces in it as usual. If you hold ladles like this, you'll find out that this cuts into your finger. Better if you just leave your fingers like that. I know, when I ladle a lot, I end up with a blister there, so I had to learn to rehold it. I'm going to pour it back into the pot. I'm going to start getting the other stuff together as soon as I finish here. I'm going to tell you, one of the nicest things is when you can and prepare food, when you finish up, you look around the house, you've got so much food sitting all over the house. It's just really a nice, comforting feeling. If the weather's really bad and you don't feel good or you get sick, you've got all that food sitting in the house and it's all been preserved. It's a very, very nice feeling. I can't tell you how nice it is. It was really something. I mean, I was putting it under the bed, the closets, underneath the sinks, in the pantry, wherever I could put it, I put it. I didn't have to worry. You have all that food sitting there. It's really, really very nice. You're saying you're cleaning up? It's a bad habit. Clean up after yourself. Some things I cannot, and it annoys the tar out of me, because my mother always said, clean up as you cook, clean up behind yourself, you have a nice clean working area. I have one son that I have a hard time getting him to do that, and I said, look, you got to clean up behind yourself because you can get hurt if you don't clean up. He said, I'm not done cooking. I said, while you cook, you have to clean. So if you have a few minutes, you start cleaning up. Now we're going to put this on medium heat. Okay? Because we're going to have to reduce this. You know we're going to have to. We're going to add stuff to it. And I'll start getting that stuff together. They want a juice of 1 whole lemon. I already cut my lemon. There's all the juice out that you can. Okay. You only have 2 more ingredients, and that is it. One and a half cups of sugar. And 1/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. And that's it. See, I told you I got a very small scratch. Next page. Medium heat till thick. The rest of you, for people who don't know how to can, you'll have to watch the whole video. But anybody who cans already knows what it's about. So we're going to mix this up thoroughly. God, that smells like a candy I'm familiar with. The nutmeg with the cantaloupe. Okay. Now, as this thickens, it has a chance of burning, so they warn you. So think of apple butter, how thick it is. You're going to have the same thing here. If I had 2 more cantaloupes, I would have sat there and doubled the recipe, but the other ones are still ripening up, and they're not going to be ripe for weeks. I gave some cantaloupe to my neighbor, who's a friend of mine, and we've been eating cantaloupe, and my sons are enjoying it because it's really nice. So be careful that this doesn't burn. And when it gets thick, like applesauce, well, I should say apple butter, they said it'll leave a coating on your spoon. So that's what you're going to have to wait for. And if you have some little pieces of cantaloupe, that's very normal. Apple butter has it as well, so don't worry about it. I have extra jars here because I didn't know how much this was going to make. But that's okay. I'd rather have more than less. So now we just have to wait for it to thicken up, and then we'll be canning it. For those of you who don't want to wait till the end of the video, you do it just like apple butter. You're going to water bath it 10 minutes, okay? But for everybody who doesn't know how, there'll be more on the video to show you. I have my jars in the hot water in my water canner. They're getting hot while this cantaloupe cooks down, okay? So for the rest of you who already know how to, you got the recipe, you already make apple butter, you know exactly what to do. Okay, so I'll see you after this gets to that point. Okay, it's time to put them in jars. The jars are nice and hot. I left them in the water, getting nice and hot. I'm not going to use all these jars, but I always take out more than I need. 4 to come out at the same time being ripe, I would immensely appreciate that. But cantaloupes are going to do what they want, like everything else. I'll either get 2 or 3 pint jars with 6 cantaloupe, 6 pounds of cantaloupe, I mean. More like 2. But that's okay. If I can get the last 4 to come out at the same time, I'll get extra jars. We're going to have some left over. That's good. I don't mind having a little extra. Never hurt, as they say. Alright, so we get 2.5 with 6. So the half will definitely go in the refrigerator and we'll be snacking on it. I might put it with yogurt and see how it comes out with yogurt, which would be interesting. But I really look forward to this. If it comes out the way I think it's going to come out, it'd be excellent with a lemon cake. I have 2 jars I can put back, 1 jar in the refrigerator. This is really, really hot. Okay. Now you notice how deep I debubbled the jars, because if you get air pockets caught in there, it could go and give you a problem with botulism. Did you also notice that I wiped the rims off with white vinegar? That's very important, so the jars will stick. The extra vinegar you have, you pour in to your water bath container. This will keep the jars bright and clear. If you don't, they'll get cloudy and mucky, and nobody really likes it like that. It's just not appealing, as they would say. These are hot. I'll have to wait till they cool a bit. Now, we're going to bring this to a full rolling boil and clock it 10 minutes. All right? And always make sure you do finger tight on the jar lids. If you do it too tight, you end up, the air bubbles they can't seal because the air is going to push it out. The air will come out if you do finger tight. Now, if you don't put it tight enough, you end up with water that you're boiling them in, and it ruins it as well. This is why they say finger tight. All right, so now it's got to come to a boil and then clock it 10 minutes, and it will be done. Okay, here it is, cantaloupe butter. Take care and have a great evening. Bye-bye.